Hello and welcome to this special edition of Kramer's Corner Technical Update Equities or US equities. Today we're going to look at the Mag 7, Magnificent 7. They're not so magnificent anymore, but first I have to say this is for educational purposes only. There is no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended in this little video. But let's start alphabetically. Let's start with Alphabet, the C share. And we have seen a massive sell-off here the past few weeks after it hit an all-time high here back in early February. Massive sell-off, gap lower, and then massive sell-off down to or below several support levels. 100 moving average and the 200 moving average, and then it found some support here around 170.45, and it comes all the way back here from September. You can see it was kind of a pivot point here, then was back down, then back up, then higher. Closed the gap, which was a bad signal. Negative sentiment on the RSI, indicating lower levels. However, I do believe we will see a bounce here the next few days. That could take it up to around 178, maybe a little bit higher if there are really positive tones coming in, maybe even above 180. Pre-market here we are trading around 173.5, so a little bit of a bounce. But if it takes out the lows from Friday at 168.39, then expect a sell-off down to 161 level. Moving on to Amazon. Amazon also been hit by selling, and all of them have the past few weeks. Also after hitting all-time highs, all the way down to this support area, consolidation area here between 216 and 207.80. Spiked below, but found some support, bouncing a little bit. And what I will do, I will remove this one. It's basically obsolete now. I think we could also see a little bit of bounce here. Pre-market, we are up almost 1%, around 214. We are below the cloud, however, we are below the 100 moving average. Negative sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, but I think also here we will see a little bit of a bounce, possibly up to 220, and could maybe face a little bit of resistance here at 220. If it closes above that, well, then we are back in neutral. It hasn't built a new support or a new bullish trend. Excuse me. Here weekly, we can see weekly it is also starting to maybe establishing a bearish trend. We could see further lower levels in the coming weeks. There's still positive sentiment, but we have seen divergence for quite some time on Amazon, indicating the uptrend has been in exhaustive mode, but expect a little bit of a bounce to 220, maybe even a little bit higher. Maybe we are in the process of forming a shoulder, head, and then a shoulder pattern, and that could be quite interesting here to follow the next couple of weeks. If it takes out 207, again, I think, and a close below, then expect the sell-off down to around 195, and the 200 moving average coming up here just below 200. Apple, well, it formed back here in late December, around Christmas time, at Doji and the Doji Evening pattern, top and reversal pattern at all-time highs, just around $260. Hit by sell-off, has rebounded somewhat, and then we need to see where this is taking us. If we are looking at the daily chart, very short term here, we had this sell-off here that was initiated after the earnings, and market opened at the highest price, and just sellers took control throughout the day. And to really demolish this bearish engulfing here and this energy of selling pressure, Apple was and still is required to close above 247.20, which is the peak here, and it didn't. It closed just a few cents below, Yes, it was above the cloud. Yes, we do have positive sentiment on the RSI, but I want to close above to really cancel out this bearish candle here. If it can't do that, then we could see Apple sliding lower in the coming weeks. However, as I said, we are still in a positive sentiment. If it moves back above 60 threshold again, maybe we'll have another attempt at closing above 247.20, which is required to really push higher. And then we have the top reversal pattern there still in place. So key interesting days, the next few days, I believe. If it takes out the lows there from massive volatility, if it takes out that from Friday there at 230.20, well, then we're going to see the support here around 219, 220 to be tested once again. Meta platform, well, very choppy. As you can see, there's been massive divergence on the RSI values declining. However, it did push higher here over the past few weeks when Meta prices also pushed higher. But it is a bit stressed, I would say. Key here in the next couple of days, look out for that 688.65, a close above that, daily close above that. Then we have established a bullish trend that could take it to test the previous all-time highs, maybe even higher. However, if it takes out the lows here from a few days ago, and I will say this low here, we do have some support here around 638.40, 641.85. I always subtract a little bit, but in this area, that will be key area towards the next few days. If it does close below and RSI also closes below 40 threshold, expect selling pressure to really resume and increase towards 600 and 584 support area down here. However, if it does close above 688.65, then we have established a bullish trend, and that will be confirmed also if RSI closes back above 60 threshold. There's still positive sentiment. There's no divergence, so we could see that at the moment. That looks a little bit of the stronger ones. We are 0.7% at 673 at the moment, so we are pushing towards that resistance. Microsoft also have been under pressure. We can see here what has been testing. 388 key support area to watch out for. Also the 100 moving average, a weekly one, 100 moving average, giving some support here. And we had a bounce Friday after spiking just below. And I think we will see a bounce a little bit lower. We can see a pre-market, we are about 0.5% at 398.75, so just below 400. I think we could see it bouncing next few days. And what I will do, I will adjust this one here to say, okay, if we get above 419, well, then we could, we won't establish a bullish trend, but we will be back in neutral. We are below the cloud, we are below all moving averages. 55 has broken below the 200 moving average, and they are both declining, meaning we have a death cross. If also 55, and I can't see why it shouldn't do that, breaks below the 100 moving average, then we have another death cross indicating or strongly indicating lower levels in the coming weeks to come. And if we do get a close below 380.80, well, then we are looking at 360.60 level, maybe all the way down to 340. It really needs to get back above the 430 level to really reverse this trend, and it is not really in the cards at the moment. Negative sentiment on the RSI, weekly sentiment RSI close to break below 40 threshold. I think we will see a bounce and then another selling pressure coming in. And then on to Nvidia coming up here. Nvidia extremely volatile lately, and let's just have a look at the weekly chart, what has been going on. It broke below the rising trend line. It is merely just a guideline. It broke below, got back above, and then back below again, and took out again, once again, these support areas here at 129.5. That was kind of a pivot level, and 126.86. And we are, it is very much under pressure. There's been divergence, as you can see, massive imbalance in the market for quite some time, indicating uptrend exhaustion. So we have actually established a bearish trend, lower low, lower high. Well, we get a lower low that is still up in the air. If we do get another push down in this region around 110, 115, I think we will see the RSI on weekly back below 40 threshold. On the daily, we can see well, we had this bearish candle here, really sellers took control, and once again a bearish engulfing after a correction, gapping lower, then it got back up there, but it couldn't really close above here, couldn't close back above. The cloud got beaten down again. Negative sentiment still, we were below 40 threshold there, didn't get above 60 there, so we reverse it. We were just below here last week. We see a little bit of a bounce, and we could see continued bounce, but we are down about almost 1% here pre-market, 123.80 level. So it really is weak at the moment, and I think it will be under pressure. It needs to get back above 145, 144 to be exact, and close above this level here to establish a bullish trend. If it does take out 113.25 down here, well, then we are looking at levels much lower. And what we can guesstimate, we can say, okay, where do we see some support? We see some support in the region around 100, 101, 102. And we also see then, of course, these lows here just around 90 level. But for now, there is a little bit of support at 113. Around that level there, that could be significant. You can see it also here on the daily chart, but under pressure at the moment. What also has been under pressure for quite some time is a Tesla. We can see it here both on the weekly, on the daily. It started already back late last year after massive move, almost up to 500, 488.5. Didn't get all the way up. Then they start to really kicking in, perfect taking and offloading of shares. Massive sell-off. We have dropped. You can actually see how much we have sold off past since the peak there. We actually lost about 40% since the peak. So that's quite significant for the Tesla shareholders. I think we should zoom in on the daily chart to see what's going on. We actually found some support here at 273.5, coming back from this gap up here, a runaway gap and this little peak. So we have some support. We also have the 200 moving average support here. So expect a little bit of bounce. We are about 2.8% up pre-market at 301. So we are back up here. I think we could see a rebound up to around 325, maybe a little bit higher. Could even get up to the 100 moving average, but you can see the 55 breaking over here. And I think we also see the 100 slowly will start declining. Negative sentiment on the RSI, no divergence. You can see that the RSI is lower here than here. That also is very much aligned with the market movement, where this one is lower than here, the price here. So we could see a correction and then a new push lower to around 240, 239 support area. And we can see where that comes from. It comes all the way back from here in October last year. So there's nothing in the indicator saying that we are in a downtrend exhaustion, and that could also, if we're looking at the weekly chart again, well, then we could be down here in this area where we can see all the moving average. We have the 55 that actually broke above the 200, actually forming a gold cross, but that, have to remember, it is very lacking indicator. So it is, and it's very far away from the market, but it's getting closer. So 250, I could see 240 maybe dipping down, and then we could see a rebound. That will also be key. What will the RSI on weekly do? But we will be down here in this region of the support areas here. So it looks very heavy on the Tesla at the moment, but do expect a bounce, as we can also see. Let's have a look at the daily again. It actually formed a bullish engulfing bottom of reversals, so let's see how long that can live. But a bounce, I would say, up to around 325 should be doable. All right, that's all for today. And I have to say, I have no interest in any of these companies. I hold no short or long positions at the moment, so I have no bias whatsoever. I really don't care where they're going, but that's what it is. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and talk to you later.